Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We're glad to have you join us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. This broadcast is being streamed live on our website nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now let's take off. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has offered his condolence to President Muhammadu Buhari after severe floods claimed many lives and affected millions in the country. In a message, the Japanese Prime Minister expressed deep sadness over the recent floods caused by heavy rainfall in many states in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which have claimed many lives and rendered many people homeless. It is no longer news that Nigeria's economy is grappling with challenges, and the recent inflation rate by the National Bureau of Statistics amplified by the realities many Nigerians are already facing. However, guests on Good Morning Nigeria say there must be a conscious effort to build the resilience of the Naira and also tackle food insecurity with practical, proactive steps. Daniel Aderie will tell us more.
At the best of times as inflationary trend leaves Nigeria in a delicate state. A concern guests on Good Morning Nigeria say stems from high transportation, insecurity, flooding and global energy crisis. Alluding to Nigeria's over-dependence on crude oil, the guests note that, for the economy to assume some level of resilience against what they termed inevitable inflation, there must be a paradigm shift from mere policy creation to policy implementation.
Today we are able to sit down on a round table and begin to now say, first and foremost, what is the primary challenge with developing the Nigerian economy? And we use the word DATA, data. Okay, data we need to do with your human resources data, with your natural resources data, with your infrastructure data, with whatever it is you need to do.
You have 1 million from the official window to the pilot market window. You are making close to 300 million naira. So do practically nothing. Beyond the fact that you just have the connection to get the foreign exchange. That is the biggest source of the distortion that we are having. That is why all the major players are not having access to the forex.
They note that CBN adopting an unorthodox monetary policy could be another way out to allay the fears of investors in Nigeria. They also highlight eliminating import substitution, securing the environment, and improving the production capacities as panacea for fostering confidence among investors and to shore up the economy.
Fundamentally, the economy is in cost of living crisis. When an average household, his income cannot compete with various demands of that household, and so far as that is not addressed, and we keep on thinking that adjusting rate will solve the problem, we cannot have them.
They are of the opinion that for Nigeria to remain afloat economically, more emphasis must also be placed on the supply chain and to eradicate every form of corruption in the forex market. In Abuja, Daniel Aderie, NTA News.
The Global Vice Chairman, Advocacy for Good Governance and Social Justice Network, Dr. Hussein Kumasi, has been appointed Head of Mission Nigeria of International Peace Commission, United Nations organ. Ekenendulue reports.
Stepping into the new role, Dr. Kumasi casts no doubt on his preparedness to tackle the task ahead, as he has been operating in familiar territory as a civil rights advocate. The International Peace Commission has existed in Nigeria since 2013, but without a head of mission. Ambassador Babatunde Lee is the Director of Operations, International Peace Commission Africa, and he has the duty of handing over the appointment letter and paraphernalia of office. Armed with a 10-year action plan, Dr. Kumasi says restoring peace in troubled parts of Nigeria is his priority.
We will try. We will talk to them. Those that are holding arms should lay down their arms and embrace peace. Money spent on security, I think, is something that will be better to be spent on infrastructure development if there is peace. So without peace, as I said, nothing is achievable.
He is a recipient of multiple local and international awards and was listed among 1,000 most influential people in the world by the United Nations in 2020. Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
As the water now flows down to the south, more communities have continued to get flooded by the day. And the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is not resting on its oars in deploying more relief to reduce the effects of the menace on the people. While handing over relief items to the government of Enugu and Anambra states, Director General of the agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, said the agency is working day and night to meet up with the immediate needs of the displaced persons. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
Anambra and Imo State in the southeast are the worst hit by the 2022 flood, with thousands of people displaced. Although Enugu State also had its own share of the disaster, with about 30,000 residents displaced with one casualty. Anambra State recorded more than 30,000 residents displaced with 17 casualties. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, handed over the relief materials to Anambra State Deputy Governor Onyeka Ebezim, who collected on behalf of his state government, and Nkechi Ene, Executive Secretary, Enugu State Emergency Management Agency, collected on behalf of her state government. Items delivered included bags of rice, beans, maize, groundnut oil, treated mosquito nets, mats, mattresses, men, women and children's wear, as well as other condiments.
Which we have our distribution pattern. We know how many we are, we know the communities, we know where our centers are, so we don't have any problem in distribution. And
Enugu State government is grateful to the federal government for this kind gesture.
What we witnessed in Enugu State and indeed in other states of the Federation so far should spur us to concrete and deliberate action that lead to substantial reduction of flood disaster risk.
The search and rescue units of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has concluded arrangement to evacuate victims of floods to upland from Oka in Anambra State. Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama has reassured foreign investors of federal government's pledge that Nigeria is fully committed to protecting all investments and projects executed in the country. The minister was speaking when he received a delegation from Belgium in Abuja. Garba Mohammed Natala reports.
Minister of Foreign Affairs has explained that adequate steps have been taken by the present administration to secure Nigerian businesses, and with bilateral and multilateral cooperations, Nigeria will ensure it safeguards all investments.
We are also on our side working to strengthen relations with Belgium, bilateral relations, and with your excellent ambassador here in Nigeria, working towards that, so as to give you really a good platform to be able to freely invest in Nigeria.
For countries to have a strong footing in Nigeria, Nigeria's ambassador to Belgium, Obina Onu, was able to address some consular and challenges to foreign investors. In turn, we pay for Nigerian businesses to engage freely while in Belgium.
It's quite an interesting time in Belgium, and I hope from this...
We apologize for the poor picture quality. Going on now, the federal government has appealed to the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC to rescind its opposition to the registration of 2 new academic unions in the Nigerian public university system. A statement by Head, Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, Olajide Oshundun, states the plea is in response to a letter written to the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, by the President of NLC, Ayuba Waba, demanding the withdrawal of the letters issued to the 2 new academic unions, the Congress for Nigerian University Academics, CONWA, and the Nigeria Association of Medical and Dental Academics, NAMDA. The minister reiterated that the new unions were offshoots or byproducts of regrouping, and the applications were considered by 2 committees of his ministry, with the Registrar of Trade Unions participating when the first recommendation for approval was given in 2019 and again in 2022. Ngige noted that the unions are for efficiency and effectiveness in the system, and more importantly, to protect groups of university teachers whose world view differ from the restive parent union. Students of the Benue State University, Makurdi, have expressed happiness over the suspension of its eighth-month strike action embarked by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, as they are now set to commence full academic activities. Simbiat Agbaji visited the university campus and has a situation report.
Following the suspension of the 8-month strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Nigerian universities have begun announcing dates of resumption for staff and students. At the Benin State University, Makurdi, staff of the university were seen in their offices as the students expressed joy over the suspension of the strike. They appealed to the lecturers to commence lectures soon.
I feel good about it. I'm very much happy. But now that they've called off the strike, I believe that our exams will be out and they will mobilize us for service.
Now that they have called off the strike, we expect that school resume freely and activities commence. Students will be expected to be back to school normal.
It's not going to be easy on some people's part, especially some students who have ventured into some things. There's going to be a lot of stress. Going up and down, how to meet up. Some people have even traveled far.
ASU chairman, Benin State Chapter Kwafan Tamungu said, though their demands are yet to be met, dialogue is still ongoing.
Students are urged to go back to their various campuses, rest up for studies, because as it is now, they have a lot of work for both the lecturers and the students. But for us lecturers, we keep on telling people that lecturers are employed to do 3 things: to teach, to research, and to undertake community work. So outside of the one point of not teaching, we've been working.
It is, however, hoped that academic activities will commence in earnest so that students can make up for the lost time. In Makurdi, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
Justice Aminu Garba of the Federal High Court sitting in Minna has fixed the 31st of this month for a definite hearing of the pre-election case of Haruna Arafat Magaji, seeking the court order to compel the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize him as the authentic candidate for Suleja Gurara Tafa Federal Constituency. This followed the court's ruling, which extended time for the plaintiff's counsel to file court processes. Mukhtar Abubakar Wawo reports.
His originating summons could not hold as slated, as his counsel applied to regularize his processes before the court. Counsel to the plaintiff, Haruna Arafat Magaji, sought for an extension of time to file further and better affidavit and reply on point of law to the first defendant, Abubakar Lado's preliminary objection. However, Justice Aminu Garba, having no objection to the defense counsel, granted the prayers of the plaintiff. The plaintiff, Haruna Arafat Magaji, approached the court and alleged that the name of Abubakar Lado Abdullahi was erroneously sent to the INEC as the candidate for Suleja Gurara Jaffa Federal Constituency.
What we're asking for the court is just to correct the error that had been made by the party. The party has not disputed the fact that that error was made. All that we just require is for an order of court in view of the fact that placing the right candidate cannot be done in the absence of a court order.
Although counsel to the first defendant Abubakar Lado Abdullahi declined to comment, counsel to the second defendant APC says,
and I wouldn't want to say anything on the substantive matter until we have filed our processes before the Honorable Court.
Justice Aminu Garba of the Federal High Court sitting in Mina thereafter adjourned the case to the 31st of this month for a definite hearing. In Mina, Mukhtar Wowo, NTA News.
Wealth of developing nations like Nigeria cannot be increased by mere demand and supply management unless there is peace. This formed part of the resolutions at the International Peace Conference organized by Sokoto Seventh-day Adventist Church in Abuja. Ekene Dulwe reports.
Increasing unemployment, brain drain syndrome, rising inflation and crime rates. These are some of the issues that have been of major concern to Nigerians in recent times. Despite several economic reforms by government, higher economic growth still remains to be achieved. Asokoro Seventh-day Adventist Church is bothered about these issues and has brought together icons from various walks of life to discuss the way forward. One point that kept resonating at the conference is that peace is critical to development.
In order to stem the tide of religious ignorance in Nigeria, for instance, a great deal of education would need to be done to dispel prejudice and stereotyping.
We cannot afford to have large numbers of our teeming youth wrestling, with frustration, feeling helpless or powerless. We need to reach out to them with this peace message.
Deliberate efforts must be made to ensure equality and justice in the country, says the panel of discussants.
Justice is very important also to peace building. Where there is injustice, there will always be strife.
We're not wanting to go back to the very old days, but let us look at the good things done and bring together so that we can work together with government to ensure justice.
The conference agreed that achieving the peace that the country needs is the responsibility of all Nigerians. Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The Nigerian electoral system is seemingly simple, yet may be complicated for some.
It's for them to come and tell us what they have.
Running an election is equivalent to what? A job application.
I want them to identify the issues that may plaguing the common Nigerians.
PDP should focus on PDP and APC should focus on APC.
Let's show you what an election is all about, as Nigerians pick the next president, governors and legislators. We interrogate their plans, question the rationale and review the prospects. Join us on the ballot.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have informed, educated, and entertained us when you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
From generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now,
this service will finally be recognized.
Right? This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcasting media. They've served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.tnawards.ng and follow our social media handles at TNE Awards. When
you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers king-do services, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, and our suites are breathtaking. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
Some of its demands on salary review and academic allowances and the revitalization of public universities.
States and federal universities will share this money for classrooms to be constructed, books to be purchased for library, lab equipment, furniture in classrooms, and the rest.
The suspension is a good news, and then I pray and hope that finally everything will return to normal.
Excited that the school is resuming, and the bedrock of any society is education.
We are very happy about the resumption, and we appreciate the government and all the people that have put in efforts to see that the strike comes to an end.
With the commencement of academic activities, businesses around the university environs are expected to pick up. In Jos, Elizabeth Kai Andrew, NTA News.
Governor Simon Lalong has inaugurated a 13-man compendium committee with a mandate to holistically produce a compendium of activities of his administration from 29th May 2015 to May 2023, when his tenure as governor will elapse. Priscilla Gumnan has details.
Performing the inauguration, the governor, represented by the secretary to the government of the state, Professor Enladi Abok-Atu, says governance is all about documenting legacies which can be beneficial to successive governments. As a result, he charged the committee to document all programs, policies, and projects of his administration. Members were carefully selected because of their proven capabilities in their various fields of expertise, as he charges them to deliver on the confidence reposed in them.
The government has given itself and other members of the committee to all persons that feel to add value to it.
The committee is expected to complete the assignment in 6 months. Similarly, members of the board of the Plateau State Specialist Hospital were inaugurated and directed to operate within the confines of the law establishing the institution for greater improvement of the health sector in the state. Chairman of the Compendium Committee, Professor John Wade, and board of the Plateau State Specialist Hospital, Andres Salihu, thanked government for finding them worthy of the assignment, pledging to put in their best towards actualizing the task. In Jos, Priscilla Gumnan, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. There's still more reports on Nationwide with Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Inlet. The Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, is supporting the fight against insecurity in Niger State with a donation of 40 motorcycles to security operatives. The Commission's benevolence is aimed at reducing the challenges of logistics faced by security operatives in accessing remote communities. Fatima Aliyu has more.
State has had its share of security challenges resulting in wanton loss of lives and property, with scores of communities reportedly sacked by terrorists. Therefore, the donation of those 40 motorcycles by the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission to the Security Trust Fund, an initiative of the state government to combat crime and criminality, is to support security operatives with logistics to enable them comb the flashpoint rural communities and restore sanity.
The efforts of the various security organizations in Niger State, we feel we still need to support them, to encourage them, to ensure that they have logistics that could make them access to those camps of the bandits and be able to eliminate them completely. The machines and any other equipment that will be donated here in future will go straight to the beneficiaries. I'm not going to allow any diversion.
IPADEC areas of intervention include providing support to the families of the fallen heroes who lost their lives in line of duty, medical outreaches, and most importantly, aid and possible resettlement of those who have lost their houses, farmlands and other sources of livelihoods to floods in the communities of the state under the commission. In Mina, Fatima Ali, NTA News.
You're still on to Nationwide. Let's go over to Sokoto, where Sadia is standing by with more reports. Hello, Sadia.
Media, welcome to Sokoto. Federal government has donated 12,000 metric tons of assorted grains to Sokoto state government for oral distribution to vulnerable groups of persons. Director General National Emergency Management Agency Mustafa Habib Ahmed presented the relief items to the state government at a brief ceremony held at Kasarawa stores in Sokoto. The latter Abdullahi Hasmi.
During this year's rainy season, Sokoto State was one of the states worst hit by flood, with many homes and farms submerged, while banditry adversely affected farming activities and displaced many people in the state. This informed the decision of the federal government to present 12,000 metric tons of assorted grains to Sokoto State government for distribution to the flood victims and other vulnerable persons. Other items provided for the affected families include vegetable oil, spices, mosquito nets, mats, detergents, children's and women's wears, among others. Presenting the relief items, Director General National Emergency Management Agency Mustafa Habib Ahmed called on Sokoto State government to judiciously distribute the relief items to the vulnerable persons. He stressed the need for state government to set up local emergency management agency in the 23 local governments in the interest of taking disaster risk management to the grassroots.
We have taken relief to over 350,000 Nigerians so far, and it's still ongoing. And even if there's still need for more, NEMA will still be there to do more.
Secretary to Sokoto State Government, Nasara Ahmad, commended the federal government for the donation, adding that the relief items will be distributed to the vulnerable persons.
The Sokoto State government will ensure that everything humanly possible is done in order to ensure we arrest this crisis of the problems of Sokoto State people.
National Emergency Management Agency assured to continue to work in collaboration with Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency to conduct damage and loss assessments to guide relief interventions to the persons affected by disasters. In Sokoto, Malatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Federal government is taking decisive measures to ensure that the nation's agricultural extension delivery system meets the global standards as part of efforts to achieving self-sufficiency in food and cash crops production. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar Mahmoud, stated this in a message to the training of extension agents in Zamfara State. Jamil Ibrahim Bissau has more.
The fortunes of agricultural extension system in Nigeria has over the years declined, largely owing to decreased funding. Periodic massive training of extension agents in all the 36 states of the Federation of the FCT Abuja is one of the initiatives of Buhari administration aimed at reversing the ugly trend. This is one of such trainings in Zamfara State, which drew extension agents from across the 40 local government areas of the state. Flagging up the training in Gusau, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar Mahmoud, represented by the Directors of the State Office of the Ministry, Raja Musa, says the event is one of the several strategies planned by the federal government to revitalize the nation's economy.
We see that our country is delivery system meets the global competitiveness so that we have adequate food for our population and some will make our foreign area.
Zamfara State Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources Ibrahim Jibo Magayaki expressed confidence that the training will enhance service delivery to farmers in the areas of production practices, equipment for technical support, and the value chain. The program managers and for State Agricultural Development Project Bala stated that the previous trainings have impacted positively on agricultural production in the state. Some of the participants who spoke with NTA News expressed a readiness to step down the training to other extension agents in their respective localities. The training lasts for 3 days. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim.
And that's it from here. It's now back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Sadia. Federal government has assured electricity consumers of its avowed commitment to enhancing bulk power delivery and grid reliability as more projects are being executed under the Nigerian Electricity Grid Maintenance, Expansion and Rehabilitation Program. This is coming as the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, installs and energizes new 150 MVA interbus transformer at Delta 4 substation, Ureli, Delta State. A statement by TCN states that energizing the new power transformer has restored the capacity of the substation by 132 megawatts, which will enable TCN to evacuate and wheel more power to Ugeli, Warri, and other parts of the South region. Let's go to Lagos now, where Hingino is standing by with more reports. Hingino, it's over to you. Lagos now, where Hingino is standing by with more reports. Hingino, it's over. Thank you, Lydia.
Lagos State government has taken delivery of relief materials from the federal government for persons affected by flood and other natural and human-induced disasters in the state. Lynn Leneke, who witnessed the flag off of direct distribution of the special intervention, reports that about 24,000 households are to benefit from the project.
Several states of the Federation, including Lagos, have suffered widespread flood disasters, which have resulted in the loss of lives and property, with many displaced and their means of livelihood destroyed. Ojo Bamidele is physically challenged, living and doing business in Ifako Ijaye area of Lagos State. He suffered impact of the heavy rains.
People doesn't come to our rescue with that because, some of us are using wheelchairs. So some of us, it affected us.
To ameliorate the pains of victims like Bamidele, the federal government approved the release of 12,000 metric tons of assorted grains from the National Strategic Reserve stock for distribution to the affected states. Of this figure, Lagos State is receiving 160 metric tons of maize, 141.4 metric tons of sorghum, and 64.2 metric tons of garri, and additional relief assistance in non-food items.
We all have responsibility to help them to get back and restart their normal life by assisting them with the kind of relief that is being provided today. Permit me to reiterate government readiness to continually respond to the needs of Lagosians in all spheres and also welcome collaborative efforts in this direction.
Beneficiaries could not ask for anything less.
We appreciate what the federal government have done through the state's coordination.
And we pray to Almighty, this kind of disaster and other human-induced or natural disaster should be something of the past.
The intervention is targeted at the poorest of the poor to strengthen interagency cooperation for efficient conduct of operations, with the view to reducing the prevailing security threats in riverine communities, such as piracy, pipeline vandalism, cultism, terrorism, among others.
Participating troops have been briefed, rehearsed, and directed to be friendly with law-abiding citizens, but deal ruthlessly with the criminal elements terrorizing the society within the ambit of the law.
In line with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya's drive to kick out criminal activities across the country, General Officer commanding 81 Division is confident that the objectives for the conduct of the exercise will be achieved to enhance the troops' professional knowledge in tackling perceived security challenges.
The exercise will be intelligence-driven and will dovetail into real-time operations at any moment a potent threat is encountered. This will be in line with military constitutional rule of conducting internal security operations in aid to civil authority. The lessons drawn from the training will no doubt charge our efforts towards a successful conduct of this exercise Stillwater.
The flag off featured full medical check-up for the host community. Exercise Stillwater is expected to be simultaneously conducted in all formations within the division from October 14 to December 23, 2022. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for a break. Nationwide will be back with Lydia in Abuja.
Introducing the Nigerian Marketing Awards. Celebrating marketing excellence in Nigeria on Friday, 11 November 2022 at the Eko Convention Center. Visit our website at www.mma-ng.com for more information. Entry closes September 30, 2022.
Now, what could make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
And the girl, especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years. If she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just park to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is there?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Nationwide continues in Abuja. The Nigerian Army has flagged off exercise Enduring Peace 2 in Kogi State. Francis Odojo reports that the exercise is aimed at strengthening the security architecture in the state.
The reception given to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, the State Governor Yahya Bello, and top government officials was a testament to the readiness of the state to crush criminality. Also present were various security heads and leaders of traditional institutions. This was the flag-off of Exercise Enduring Peace 2 at Odi in Ajaokuta local government area. Push-ups and the withdrawal of troops, a display that speaks volume.
According to the Nigerian Army, the yearly and nationwide event exists to create formidable synergy with security agencies and the public against crimes and criminality, especially during the Yuletide. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, was represented.
The exercise will involve series of operational activities, including patrols, ambushes, and raids of criminal hideouts. It will also witness some non-kinetic activities in the form of civil-military cooperation programs.
I am ready to lead the way. We will take it as an exercise endurance in eternity.
The governor later inspected facilities within the operational camp. In Ajaokuta, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
And in a bid to further strengthen civil-military relations and ensure watertight security during the Yuletide, the headquarters 22 Armored Brigade has inaugurated Exercise Stillwaters 2 at Iyana in Saragi District, Edo local government area of Kwara State. Olajide Bello reports that the brigade commander, headquarters 22 Armored Brigade, Brigadier General Adebayo Babalola, alongside sister security agencies and the traditional institution, inaugurated the exercise.
The inauguration of Exercise Stillwaters 2 began with a facility tour of the area of operations of troops by the Brigade Commander, Headquarters 22 Armored Brigade, Brigadier General Adebayo Babalola. Officers and men of the Headquarters 22 Armored Brigade of the Nigerian Army reached their area of operation base at Iyana in Saragi District, Edo local government area of Kwara State, in line with the directive of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, to beef up security nationwide during the Yuletide.
SRI Stillwater is not for the military alone, even though we are to drive it. It involves all the other security agencies. We are going to pursue criminals to all their hideouts in order to ensure that our law-abiding citizens sleep with their two eyes closed.
It's Saragi, His Royal Highness Ali Upoto, and Olupako of Share, His Royal Highness Haruna Adigbite II, lauded the initiative of the army, saying it will further enhance civil-military relations.
They are here to protect us. They are here to add value. At this moment of the year, this particular exercise is very, very necessary.
Exercise Stillwaters 2 will last till 22nd of December 2022 on Large Day, Bello, NTA News.
We're going over now to Benin, where Ogochukwuka is standing by with more stories. Ogochukwuka, you're next.
Thank you, Lydia. Welcome to Benin. The Benin-Abuja highway is no more passable. This is because articulated vehicles have blocked the Abuja-Jatu axis of the highway for the past 3 days to protest the deplorable condition of the road. Akine Taokai reports that the protest has cut off movement between Benin and Abuja, with many commuters stranded.
A visit to the popular Jetu Junction in Isako West local government area shows that the ever-busy highway has turned to a relaxation center. Leaders of the protesting drivers said the protest became inevitable due to the bad road from Auchi to Benin, which is impassable at the moment, and subsequently the barricade of alternative routes by Edo State government. Hence the peaceful protest. They called on the federal government to fix the road.
We are not getting the road to use. We keep paying the tax they demand from us. They should come through. We are not ready for us. We are ready that you are pleading with them, that they should come to our aid. So we want them to come and reflect those issues from us until they leave this road. Without that, nobody can go to anywhere. All what we are agitated for is for them to do our roads.
So my appeal to the tanker trailers is that they should please exercise some patience. We are not sleeping over this issue. We are working. The honorable minister is not comfortable with the way the road is, and he has given an adequate mandate, of which the directors in headquarters, they have been mandated to come to the zone
to come and resolve this problem with those of us that are here and also the community. Like I said, you can see the letter being brought up. This is a letter from the Eastern West Liberation Movement, resolving this particular problem, indicating that they don't need compensation and they are making available all the land that is required for the ponding, for the channelization of the water. This is the letter they just brought this morning.
At the time of filing this report, the protesters were still on ground, as no one knows when it will end. In Auchi, Akim Etayaka, NTA News.
To ensure optimum security in the southwest and south-south corridors, as the Yuletide draws near, the 32 Artillery Brigade, Owena Cantonment Akure, and the 63 Brigade Army Asaba have simultaneously flagged off the 2022 exercise Stillwater. And Wilokolo put together the reports from Ondo and Delta states.
Exercise Stillwater 2 is based on real-time intelligence on all security infractions. It engages various security minds as it parades officers of the Nigerian Army, Police Force, Correctional Services, NSCDC, Immigration Service, and FRSC on extra vigilance.
Including cases of crime such as vandalism, terrorism, kidnapping, armed robbery, ritual killings, and others presently plaguing our dear country today, reiterate the need for this type of joint training exercise.
While the Delta State government assures of its support for the exercise, the command also donated items to the internally displaced persons camp in Asaba, hosting some flood victims as part of the flag-off of the exercise. In Akure, the exercise Stillwater 2 by the 32 Brigade covers both Ondo and Ekiti states. The brigade commander Mokhtar Adamu assures citizens that with their support of security agencies, the fight against insecurity in the state will be won.
This year, the exercise is intended to be more extensive to include cyber warfare operation. Additionally, the exercise will also incorporate some civil military cooperation activities with the aim of creating a better understanding of military activities and endearing Nigerian Army to the public.
This is the second exercise Stillwater being held by the Nigerian Army and will continue till the 22nd of December 2022. Awule Okolo, NTA News.
The last lap of the news is from Abuja. Lydia, it's back to you. Chukwuka, thank you. Digital access has been identified as a major means of realizing Nigeria's desire of becoming Africa's ICT hub. Kenneth Nanim reports that Policy Innovation Center and its partners have put together a co-creator workshop to drive an all-inclusive digital transformation through access.
Nigeria's target is to achieve 98% broadband penetration by 2025. The plan is that by 2030, 95% of the country's population would have become digitally literate. To this end, Policy Innovation Center and partners are championing conversations amongst the public and private sector to put in perspective challenges of inclusive digital access with a view to proffering solutions.
When Nigerians have digital access, we're able to innovate more, and that will drive our economy in the right direction very quickly. If you look at countries around the world that are doing very well, there are countries where people have digital access.
At the end of the day, what we want to see is improved functionality, improved livelihood, improved literacy, improved outcomes for health and education.
For the IT regulator, this kind of intervention is apt to drive various public-private initiatives of government towards the utilization of available data.
For instance, if we are training maybe 1,000 people on digital skills in a year, if the private sector is encouraged, they can also train. Maybe they train 1,000. At the end of the day, you'll be having maybe 1 million person trained sweatlessly.
To ensure that recommendations from these projects are not shelved elsewhere to gather dust, the organizers also unveiled plans to inaugurate the Committee of Practice, who would continually stimulate public-private sector dialogue on the operational roadmap to an inclusive digital access. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The idea to deploy cutting-edge housing census is a move that will enable Nigeria to produce one of the most accurate, reliable, and acceptable data for national planning. This was submission of Yobe State stakeholders at the summit on 2023 population and housing census organized by the NPC. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
It's on record that Nigeria conducted its last national population census in 2006, and since then, data obtained from the exercise have been used for the implementation of various government policies and programs. These 16-year-old data are considered as obsolete and not in tune with current realities as Nigeria now grows in population and economy. Thereby, the need to conduct fresh census in order to obtain accurate, reliable and acceptable data becomes paramount. This summit, organized by the National Population Commission for critical stakeholders in Yobe State, seeks to explore ways of ensuring that the upcoming exercise is ICT driven for maximum results.
For us in Yobe State, the population and housing census is very important, necessary and crucial, taking into cognizance the unfortunate displacement and relocation of communities like the Boko Haram insurgency.
We wish to pledge the total support of the Council of Traditional Rulers in the state for the success of this important program. And as part of efforts to deliver a credible and reliable census, the Commission is committed to ensuring that the results of the census are acceptable to Yobians and Nigerians, and the quality of data to be generated with international basic standards.
Issues raised by the stakeholders during the technical session in the summit will be incorporated in the framework of action to ensure a history exercise in the state. NTA News.
Over 120 pilgrims have been airlifted to participate in a special pilgrimage exercise to Israel and Rome. The pilgrims drawn from 6 geopolitical zones of the country have 10 days to explore in the soul-lifting adventure. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport admonished them to avoid acts capable of bringing the image of the nation to disrepute.
The church is going to go to participate in prayers for the country and also to make sure that we preach the gospel of unity for our country. So we are very happy that this journey reflects the unity of Nigeria and the unity of the church, and also believing in the oneness of this country.
Tourism or for commercial interests, we are going to pray for transformation of ourselves, to pray for the spirit of holiness in us, and then to pray that our country will experience transformation too.
Are expected to visit various holy sites in Israel and Rome in line with the laid-down procedure for the spiritual exercise. Now a quick look at sports update.
Nigeria's contingent to the 14th Africa Scrabble Championship in Zambia arrived in Lusaka Wednesday, led by President of Nigeria Scrabble Federation Toke Aka. The team assures Nigerians on their readiness for a swipe of the titles at stake at the tournament billed for October 21 to 24. World Football Governing Body FIFA on Tuesday unveils Tazuni, a fun football-loving penguin, as the official mascot of the FIFA Women's World Cup Australia and New Zealand 2023, capturing the spirit of an event that will go beyond greatness. Tazuni is seen as the perfect representative of the host region and will help to bring the excitement of the highly anticipated tournament to a new generation of fans. Meanwhile, ticket sales for this FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 are approaching 3 million as the countdown continues to the first edition of the tournament in the Middle East and Arab world, which will get underway at Al Bayt Stadium in just over a month's time on November 20.
We have curated and planned for a fan experience like no other. This will be an experience for fans that can watch more than one match a day. Different countries have different cultural norms, and I think it's for us as visitors and guests in the country to be aware of those cultural norms and to respect them.
The The Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup, which is the 22nd edition, will see 32 teams compete across 64 matches in 8 state-of-the-art stadia from November 20 to December 18. That's Sports Update. I am Kenan Ima Aburike, NTA News.
And before we go, don't forget to join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. I am Lydia Odijochi. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.